Do that one. Hey, welcome back to the channel. Sea Lion here. Thanks for checking out the video. Today what we're going to do is get started on a dynamic pose Nightcrawler Funko Pop. This is expanding my X-Men line. I've got between 4 and 6 of those in the works right now, essentially. So I've got my Gambit, which in the last 2 videos I showed you how I made that, how I made the box. I've also got a Rogue. I've done one Nightcrawler, which I'll show you here shortly, and then I've done a Phoenix J, Jean Grey, a special Phoenix Pop, which came out pretty well, and then I'm working on a Banshee and a Jubilee, so all sorts of cool stuff coming for me. But yeah, today what we're going to do is get started on my Nightcrawler. Like I said, I want to do a dynamic pose today, so we'll get the mold made and cast a figure. We're going to get the mold made and cast a stand, so that can get started on its curing process. That'll be about a 4-day process for that, so I really want to knock that out first so that we can then, you know, go ahead and do all the other stuff while we wait for that to cure. So let's go ahead and get started here today. As always, if you like this video, hit that button, click that subscribe button if you want to see more from me, and throughout the video, if there's anything you see that isn't quite fully explained, I'm gonna make sure to leave a card either here or here, wherever it ends up, so that you can see another video I've made with more detail. So a little more in depth, translucent figures, making molds, so on and so forth. So let's get started, guys. The pop we're making now is actually my second attempt at a Nightcrawler custom. This is my first attempt. Came out pretty well. Not as dynamic as what we're going for here, which is why I wanted to redo it. I did a custom box for it, which I'll probably end up keeping the majority of that the same. We'll just have to change out the little pop art. Let's mix some silicone for our mold. So you want to mix both part A and part B separately first before combining together. The goal is to get a uniform color. I do this by mixing them back and forth in 2 clear plastic cups, and that way you'll leave a little less behind of either A or B. Again, you just want that uniform, in this case, purple color. After mixing those together, what you're going to want to do is spray your figure or whatever you're making a mold of with silicone release spray, just to make it easy to pull out of your mold after it's cured. So now what you want to do is make sure to glue your figure into the box at the point you want to pour the resin in after the mold is cured. So when I'm actually casting one of these figures, I'm going to be pouring the resin in the neck hole, so therefore I glue it down at the neck. It takes about 6 to 8 hours to cure before we cut it out. So here it is after we pull all the cardboard off around it, and it's all done. I pulled them out of the mold, and let's cast one. Let's mix the resin. You can check out my other video on a more in-depth explanation on what I'm doing here. But I'm going to get that all mixed up and pour it in the mold as slow as possible. Just trying to make sure it reaches the bottom cavities of it. But again, this is a quick drying resin, so time is of the essence, even though you want to go slow. I know, it's a contradiction. I'm tapping the mold here just to help that resin get down to the bottom parts of the mold and just fill in all the cavities so we don't lose any detail in it. Alright, we'll leave this off to the side for about 15 minutes to fully cure before taking them out of the mold. This is going to be a dynamic posed figure, and I wanted it to look like he was teleporting in, so we're going to need a stand. Now to do that, I'm going to take the stand from the Iron Man Mark 43 pop and modify it just a bit. So the Mark 43 Iron Man pop has 4 points of contact with its stand. I cut 2 of those off originally, thinking I'd only need 2. Even that's a bit excessive in this application. As you see, my first casting here is a little more red and a little too dark than I initially wanted. So what I'm going to do is I modified the mold by filling in one of the peg holes with just a little bit more silicone and trying to smooth out those other 2 areas where I cut off from the original Mark 43 stand. So what I'm going to do here is try and cast another one of these, see what it comes out like, and we'll go from there. It'll take roughly 1 day before I can pull this out of the mold. Here's what it looks like when I do. It's a translucent purple single post stand that I can reproduce and have it stay structurally sound. I really tried to mimic the look of Nightcrawler teleporting in the comics, translucent purple poof of smoke. We've got that stand curing. It's gonna be about 3 days before I want to put any weight on it. I just don't want it to warp or bend at all. It takes so long to do these things that if you don't have patience at the very end, you can pretty much destroy all your work in next to no time. So have patience all the way through. In the meantime, I'm gonna start work on the next video, and in that video what we're gonna do is get the head all set. We're gonna get that all situated. I'm trying to figure out which one I want to use right now, but I'll show you that process, and then we'll also go through and paint the actual figure, and we'll see the final product. So thanks for checking out this video. If you like it, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I know that's what everyone says, but yeah, thanks for checking out the video. See you guys soon. Part 2 coming next couple days. All right, so yeah. Oh God, I almost. So